All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Wednesday. What is it, the 10th of April? Jeez, man, this month is just flying by. We've got a lot of great wine tasting opportunities for you, our wine drinking people, going on the month of April. Just check it out. We keep adding more and more events to the calendar. It's an amazing lineup. And, well, although we don't have the winemaker here, David Ramey, we have had David in to do several events. And whenever we have someone from the winery, we always like to host an event with Ramey because these are some of the best wines coming from California. And Dave Ramey is one of the most sought-after consultants. He's one of these people that is considered to be one of the revolutionary winemakers of our time. And he started at Matanzas Creek years ago. I don't know if that's where he started, but that's where I first knew of him. And he worked with the great Helen Turley there. He's worked with some other great winemakers, and he's also worked at Chalk Hill, kind of credited for creating their style of Chardonnay. And then he worked with Christian Moex at Dominus, at Chateau Petrus in Bordeaux. And then, of course, he was the first winemaker for Rudd, when Leslie Rudd started his winery, the owner of Dina DeLucas. And, well, that's where he came up with a Jericho Canyon juice for them, and then he started bottling under his Ramey label. He started his own label in 1996 with his wife, and these guys, still family-owned, relatively small. They make, you know, in the 20, 30,000 cases of wine range, not in the hundreds of thousands of cases. And they've got several different tiers in the lineup. They've got their Appellation Series, which are going to be featuring the Russian River Chardonnay from the Appellation Series tonight from 2010, which was a cooler vintage, which winemakers like that. And, you know, Ramey's kind of a cross between a classic winemaker and one that relies upon modern technology as well. You know, I think you're kind of foolish today to not, you know, keep up with what's going on and the advances that we have made, cold fermentation, all kinds of things that help you make better wines, but he does use natural yeasts. You know, one of the people that feels like, you know, you definitely make a better wine, the fermentation is longer, and, well, it's just natural. Anyways, he's got his Appellation Series, which we're only trying one of the Chardonnays from the Appellation Series. We've got a couple of his single vineyard wines, and one of the things that David has done through the years is meet some of the top growers throughout Northern California. And hey, if you want to make great wines, you got to know where the great grapes come from. The Hyde Vineyard Chardonnay, one of the top vineyard sites in Carneros. We're going to be doing that along with the Ritchie Vineyard, one of my favorite vineyards in Sonoma for Chardonnay. Paul Hobbs makes a Ritchie Vineyard Chardonnay. A number of other top producers put this name on, vineyard name on their labels. And David Ramey makes one of the best in my opinion. And we got a great price on this wine, $46. It used to be $60, $70. The 2009 vintage, a very good vintage in Northern California. And then we get into the Cabernet Sauvignon, the 2009 Napa, which, you know, Ramey has made several top vineyard sites famous, and he said, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to put the vineyard names on my Cabernet anymore because the price keeps going up for the grapes, and I'm just going to make my top wine now called Annam, the best wine that I can make in any given year. And I can tell you a little secret, a lot of that fruit comes from Schramsberg's vineyards on Diamond Mountain. That, you know, they figured out, look, can't grow Chardonnay and Pinot Noir for our Champagne here, but this is prime Cabernet country, so they pulled it up and planted Cabernet, and they sell a lot of their fruit to folks that know where the great grapes are grown in Napa Valley, like David Ramey. Well, we don't got David, but we do have George Staikos coming in, the National Director of Sales for Ramey Winery, so check it out. Aaron Brooks has created a lovely 5-course tasting menu for $85. Where can you dine and drink like this in downtown Miami? How does he do it? I know what you're thinking. Well, check it out. The menu and all the wines will be drinking from Ramey Vineyards a week from, well, just about a week from tonight. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.